Hey everybody, welcome back to The Wealthy Sailor. Today we're going to talk about what it's like being a landlord for the first time. So for anybody who's watched any of my previous videos, you know that I have a rental property in Jacksonville, Florida. Now I am familiar with real estate before going into all this. We actually bought the house in Jacksonville with the intention that if the military moves us, we can then rent out the property. But it was still kind of a weird ordeal to get this thing rented out. Now, at the time, neither of us have lived there for 2 years. She was deployed to Japan. I was deployed in this order: Iraq, Afghanistan, Afghanistan. And we had a roommate staying there, taking care of the house and taking care of a dog. So my son and I got back from Japan. We were visiting my fiance, his mother, and we had to do this move. And I gave myself 2 weeks to move from Florida to Virginia to get him set up in school. So we were only there for a little bit. We pretty much got there. There was a pod, one of those moving pods, waiting outside the house. We just quickly filled up with our stuff, and then we left. The problem with doing this, and the thing I didn't like about it, is that we weren't there for when the house was empty, which means I couldn't go in and clean, I couldn't go in and paint, I couldn't change the locks. I was leaving this 100% up to, well, in some cases, my roommate who was moving out of there later, like he stayed there about a month and a half or 2 months after we left. And then I was also leaving it up to a property management company, which was a plan we came up with to get one just because we didn't have to worry about it. Like I didn't want to be deployed to either Iraq or Afghanistan or something and get a phone call about a hot water heater broken. It's like, okay, well, I'm sorry that happened, but I honestly don't know what to do with it from here. I mean, like, I'm just going to go online, find somebody to stop by the house. So having a property management company for me definitely seemed like it was worth the price. So they went in and they did fix a lot of stuff. I mean, they filled nail holes from pictures. They repainted where they had to. One of the more memorable things they did was they got the HVAC system fixed. They got new garage door openers. They changed the locks for me, stuff like that. Overall, it was like $1,000, maybe $1,500 for all the services they provide, which I thought was a little steep because I'm like, I could easily do this stuff on my own, but I wasn't there. I was 600 miles away in Virginia with my son, and although he's older and responsible, he's still too young to leave by himself, or at least for a week for me to go take care of that. I mean, he was a freshman in high school, so we couldn't do that. So property management company came to save the day. So a property management company ended up getting the house listed in November, which was only like 2 weeks after I signed all the paperwork and they had people in there to fix it and stuff like that. So it really wasn't bad. It took no time at all for them to find somebody. And this is where I think having a property management service really comes and it's worth their money. We were only listed for about a week before we had multiple people look at the house, and they went with somebody who got above what the property management company and I had previously discussed. They got $50 more, which, I mean, it might not sound like a lot, but that's a good amount of money. That's $600 extra total from their lease. So they got more than I expected, and they had them moved in, no problem. Plus, when the new tenants moved in there, the property management company was able to handle things that I would not want to handle. For example, shortly after they moved in, and I mean like maybe 2 weeks after they moved in, there was a problem with the screen on the porch in the back. We have like a rear patio type thing, and we got screened off because it was already covered, so we just put like screens around it. And a gust of wind came or something, and it was all kind of torn apart from previous activities and not really being maintained. It was something that was on my to-do list, but then deployments happened. I never got around to it. Well, they asked for it to get fixed so they could sit out there and not worry about the bugs. It is Florida after all. And it was a reasonable thing, so I said, okay, fine. So, the property management company, I didn't have to talk to the tenant at all. The property management company said, like, hey, do you want to fix this or not? Now, we're not obligated to fix it. I'm like, yeah, sure, we'll fix it. And we ended up fixing it, and it was fine. And it was just nice having the security of that property management company taking care of everything for me, and I didn't have to worry about it. Now, this is where I would like to point out that I was actually really lucky. None of us knew what COVID-19 was going to do. None of us really foresaw anything like this happening. If I didn't get the property filled when I did, and I waited just maybe a couple more months, there's a good possibility that property could have been vacant for the entire ordeal, or at least a good part of it. In fact, I'm deployed with a guy who went through 6 months without having a tenant under similar circumstances. So it could have been very detrimental to my financial situation. and kind of ruined everything I had as an investment as a whole. And it would have really made me second guess myself, considering the fact that at the time I had about $60,000 in equity on the property. And me and my fiance sat down and talked about it. And I've always wanted to have rental properties. I think rental properties are one of the best cash flow investments for long-term retirement types of savings and investings. I really just don't know of anything that has the kind of security and safety that a rental property does. Plus, it's always something you could sell if you need a large amount of cash very quickly. And selling a house, although it's not super quick, it can be quick. Like if you have a house completely paid off and you underprice it by like 2 or 3%, it's going to get sold pretty quick. And you can do that kind of stuff with if you have rental properties and you're renting them out and stuff like that. So we got lucky with that. And throughout the COVID-19 thing, I ended up writing my property management service, and I'm like, hey, what's the guy's occupation or the family's occupation? Like, I want to know what they do. And the guy's in the military. And I got lucky because you can't. I wanted somebody from the military in the property. In fact, like that's one thing that's nice about living at military bases, is that military members are pretty safe investments. One, they get paid almost no matter what. Like you don't really, people from the military really don't get laid off. It has happened. I know there's furloughs and stuff like that, but active duty military members, generally 99.99% of the time, it doesn't happen. Additionally, they will always get money specifically for housing. So as long as you are reasonably priced, you'll be good there. So I was really happy when there's a military member staying there. So family got paid no matter what throughout the entire thing. So I didn't have to worry about rent or anything like that. So it worked out very well. And now we're going through it, and I'm still collecting money every month. Now, here are a couple of downsides of a property management company. My property management company charges me 15%. Another property management company that I also have a close relationship with only charges 10%, and recently it's been negotiating down to 8%. So I'm actually kind of aggravated that I pay so much. But the thing is that one of the reasons the other one I know about is because they have multiple properties. So they're able to do sort of a mass negotiation. You know, they're renting for three buildings, 4 units. One's a duplex. So the person's able to negotiate that down a little bit more. But you know, mine, it's pretty expensive. Plus, on top of the 15%, they also take the first month's rent. So it's expensive, but it provides me with a lot of peace of mind. So at this point in my life, right now, considering my career, where I live and stuff like that, I'm willing to pay that difference. However, once my 1 year is up in December, I think I will get at least quoted for a different property management company to see about switching, or simply just call my property management company and be like, hey, you guys are charging me quite a bit. I got a quote from another company. This is what they're charging. I want you to kind of match or do the same thing or something. I'm not sure if it'll work. Honestly, I have a very good relationship, and I feel like the service has been pretty good with my current property management company. So even if I can't get a discount and another company can offer me a discount, I'm not necessarily sure I would switch because, like I said, man, within a week of being listed, they had me multiple offers and we're getting higher than expected rent prices. Like, so I'm kind of willing to pay a little bit more for that, and the peace of mind it offers. But everybody's different with that respect. I mean, if you have a property management company, please let me know how it goes with you guys because I'm kind of curious. I'm sort of new to a lot of this stuff. Like I said, I have an understanding of real estate, but I don't have a lot of experience with it. So if anybody else has anything to add in, please let me know. So anyway, during the course of my first year, which is almost up in like a month, I've done very well. My tenant has not missed a payment, hasn't been late or anything like that. In the meantime, I'm getting free equity. I have built up $15,000 this year in equity for that property that I didn't pay for, that a renter paid for. Plus, I still get like $200 a month profits from everything, which I kind of save in case of emergency or repairs or something like that. Plus, the property value is going up anyway. It is an asset that's helping me out in so many different ways, and it's actually a large contributor to the challenge I have going to the end of next year. Like if you notice, every time I do an update video, I always have to talk about the Jacksonville house because it is doing a lot for my net worth as a whole. So, sum it all up, if you're thinking about doing a rental property, I strongly encourage it. I don't think it's nearly as scary as people say. I would even venture to say that if you live in the area, you might be able to do the property management yourself. The problem I have with that is that there's a lot of legalities behind that. Like, for example, you have to know how to, like, what the laws are about who you rent to and stuff like that. You have to know the laws about eviction and stuff like that. And that's one thing I liked about the property management company that I have now, is that they handle all that for me and I don't have to worry about it. But if you want to try to do it yourself, I mean, it doesn't seem that hard, but I have to be honest, I've never actually done it. My experience is solely based off having a good management company. However, if you want to rent a place out under a property management company, I bet you would love it. You might not make any money off of it directly, as in cash flow, but you are increasing your net worth with each monthly payment. Every time they pay rent and you pay the mortgage, you're getting a little bit richer off somebody else's money. Which I know if you're a renter out there, you probably don't like hearing that, but that's essentially how it is. Which is why I encourage people to buy homes instead of renting them, because you're helping them build wealth rather than you building it yourself. There are cases where renting is better, and I definitely am in favor of you renting something small and sort of below your means so you can save for a house. I'm totally for that. But in most cases, it's better to buy than to rent. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something. As always, if you liked it, give me a like. Um, Feel free to subscribe. Right now, I'm really pushing subscribers because my subscriber count's pretty low. And I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but with YouTube, once you get a certain amount of subscribers and likes, they start pushing it more. Also, in case anybody's doing a YouTube channel, you need 1,000 subscribers to get monetized. Otherwise, you're just doing the videos for fun, which I don't mind doing. But if I can do both, I want to do both. I want to make money while I make these videos, even though I'm having fun doing it. But anyway, guys, if you like the video, give me a like, a share, subscribe. Definitely leave comments below. I don't care if they're good or bad. I try to respond to everything. I try to read everything, but leave the comments below. Anyway, guys, stay safe and keep saving.